Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here, and what a challenge to follow such amazing technologies at such an exciting time for customers. And I want to take us on a journey into the future of retail, mainly from the customer point of view. I want to build on the exciting messages we've been hearing about technology, TV, mobile, fridges, and all the rest. My message is this: our world is changing faster than you can even hold a meeting of your board. The technology is changing and accelerating at this incredible speed. And the most successful retailers of technology, of fridges, of air conditioning, etc., the most successful retailers in the next 10 years will be retailers that do it together. They have partnerships which are close with the largest manufacturers in the world, working in collaboration with world-class experts on customer insight, marketing, on technology, on retail trends and the rest, working together in collaboration, in a kind of family relationship, a kind of kinship. And that will make the difference and to the customer relationship. And it will drive amazing changes in the customer experience. Now, before I go into the customer future, I just want to say something about the future of the economy. Did you know that watching too much TV news can make you feel sick? Okay? Because it's not the truth. You only see part of the truth on TV. So let's have a look at the truth. The truth is that from 1980 right through to 2013, the global economy has grown in every single year. The truth is that if you are, of course, in exciting emerging markets like Latin America, Asia, and the rest, we have seen this extraordinary growth, and it will continue. The truth is that if you lived in Europe and North America, okay, there was a problem. Okay, that's the truth. Look at this. Of course, Brazil has been closely linked to the US, but is coming back. Mexico coming back, Brazil coming back. And Mexico retail growth will come right back. It is already back. But look at this. This is Vietnam from 1985 right through 1996, right through to 2012. Can you see the crisis? If you look at Indonesia or Singapore or Thailand or South Korea, you see this incredible engine of growth. China alone is powering a huge economic transformation of our entire world. And it's taking with it all the other parts of that community. By 2015, 40% of the entire global economy will be Asia. And this year, China economy will grow by 7.8%. We're talking about a change to the whole way in which the world is structured. And it's a big shock, I think, for countries like America, for the UK, for Germany, for Russia, to find this change happening. And of course, Latin America is absolutely at the center of this story of transformation. Now, what does it mean? See, the future was not just going to be driven by economics, not just by technology. In fact, there is one word which will drive the future even more than TVs, mobile phones, and other things. What is it? We can have a debate about the right size of a screen. Screens get larger, they also get smaller. Some get very small. I'm a physician, a doctor of medicine. And I am interested in connecting computers directly to the human brain. Here we have on this slide, you can see human brain cells. They are growing into the surface of the computer. And as they grow into it, they are sending messages to the chip, and the chip is sending messages to the brain. The brain sends messages to the chip. So we can create a brain. We have already done this in animals, where the brain inside one animal is sending a message, an email, if you like, by wireless technology. One animal can be in Rio de Janeiro. The other animal can be in Cancun. The big question is this. Put up your hands if you would like to have a bio-digital brain, if you would like a chip inside your own head. Oh, what happened? We learned that you can have a great idea, a great innovation, but if it doesn't connect with the passion we heard about earlier, nothing will sell to anyone. It's all about the passion people have. It's about connecting with how people feel. It's about understanding what engages people. So they say no to the implanted chip inside the brain, and they say yes to a TV like this. So what are these passions, and where will they be? You see, the single word which is more powerful than politics is emotion. It's more powerful than politics, it's more powerful than technology, it's more powerful than all of human history, because it's emotion which has driven so much of human history. So let us understand, let's go on a journey to understand the changing emotions in our customers and see what we can learn about retail. Because retail is all about understanding what really matters to the customer, how they feel, and becoming an expert friend. And that's part of what the role, of course, is of the people in the store. It's guiding, it's understanding, it's coming along as a friend. So the challenge is that many stores I see are blind to their customers. Let me give you an example, which is my mother. This is my mother. And my mother has told her bank for 35 years the same thing. Every year she is asked by market research teams if she would like to do online banking. She says, no. Would you like to use a credit card over the phone? No. She says, they will steal all my money. They say, would you like to have a virtual banking relationship? No. Would you like to communicate with your banker by email? No. She says, I just want to talk to my banker in my bank. But one day my father died, and she was lonely, and she found that all her friends were making social arrangements by Facebook. And so she phoned me, and she said, Patrick, I have to go online. She says, I have to have a portable computer so I can do it all in the garden. I have to have wireless. I have to have a video. And I want one of these phones with everything on it so I can do Skype and everything. So I took her to the store. I wasn't sure about this, but we came back with the best technology we could find. The following morning, she was very excited. She says, I have sent my first email. I am seeing Facebook. My friends are in touch with me. But Patrick, I have a problem. When I phone my bank, I cannot see them. And they cannot see me. What happened was she had jumped 35 years into the future, and she left her bank in the last century. Her bank had made a huge mistake. You see, you must always listen to my mother, but don't believe what she says. My mother didn't understand the future. My mother told the bank she would never want internet or to see them on a video call, but she changed her mind. In 3.5 hours, she left the bank 30 years behind. How long will it take the bank to install video calling on every call center? What do you think? 5 years? So we learn about market research. It's a very important tool to understand how the customer is feeling now. We listen to market research. We really listen when they make a complaint. But we do not believe the customer when we ask them about the future. If we said to a customer last year, would you like a curved TV? They say, why do I need a curved TV? But when they see it, and they see this incredible image that is almost like 3D, but without glasses, when you are just in the right place, then suddenly they all want it. So what we must do then is understand the customer, build a vision of the future, and then imagine my mother living in that future world to get the right answers. Here is another example of where we can be blind. I want you to imagine that last night you were watching a film with Britney Spears, and you type in her website into Google, you press the button, and you're waiting. And the page doesn't load. How long will you wait before you press the back button? Put your hands up if you press the back button on a slow website in less than 10 seconds. Okay, most of you. Put your hands up if you've gone in 5 seconds, because life is too short to waste 5 seconds. Put your hands up. You see, 5 seconds is now like 1 million years to the customer. 5 seconds is enough to make you feel irritated and you want to go back. 5 seconds. Next question. How long does it take to pay in the store for a product? How many seconds? How many seconds does it take to find someone in the store who understands the product? I'm just saying that the understanding of time is changing. So people are wanting things to happen really quickly. Here's another example where sometimes we can be in one world and the customer in another. Okay. Imagine that your electricity company has stolen money from your bank account 3 times. And you are trying to get through to them. And you call them and they say, press 1 for accounts. Press 2 for customer services. Press 3, they're asking you to press all these buttons. Put your hands up if you find that very annoying. Okay. Now, put your hands up if you think it's a social crime and people should be put in prison that make you press the button when they have stolen your money. Okay. But I'm not going to ask the next question because you know what it is. It would be how many of us are using the same kind of push-button systems with our own customers. So what happens is that we can be separated from the emotion of the customer. You understand that the customer can be feeling something, a passion for the product, and also maybe sometimes an irritation with the service. And we think we're doing great, the customer thinks it's awful. And it can be just a question of how many seconds. How many seconds? Now, here is some wonderful news for you. In Latin America, in the last decade, 50 million more people have joined the middle class. And we can expect another 100 million to join the middle class in the next 10 or 15 years. This is an astonishing change, and it will drive every part of your business. You're talking about a 56% of the population in the middle class in Brazil. And of course, this is driving the explosion of huge retailing, shopping malls and the rest. In Peru alone, we have seen 14 huge Cencosud stores opening just this year. And these kinds of opportunities will drive the kind of demand which you would like to see for the kind of products you're seeing downstairs. All these things, these big fridges and so on. And one of the biggest trends we will see in the next 5 years is the creation of what I call wow, this fantastic retail experience, this amazing attraction to something extraordinary. It's more than just laying the products out. It's how they're displayed. It's the environment. It's like theater. It's not just boxes in a row, but something that transforms the person's view about the future. It's about turning leisure into a retail into a leisure experience. Here is a shopping center in Europe, which is offering adventures for children while the parents are shopping. Here is another shop which is actually demonstrating the toy. Why does this matter? Because people want to enter into the products that they are buying. Of course, downstairs you have seen these fun areas with the football being demonstrated, theater, passion, engagement, life. This is what it's all about. And we're going to see this kind of, this ever more experiments to create these experiences. In London, on Tuesday, I was in a store where a couple were experiencing the Samsung 3D for the very first time. I watched them go into this glass room. I watched their faces explode with excitement as they began to experience the very latest technology in 3D. In a glass box with the best sound system in the world. It blew them away. But you know what? It's still not enough for a sale. Why is that? Because they will now go out of the store. What we need to do is to capture the experience, to come alongside them with the expert friend, and take them on a journey to sale. But more often the experience is like this. This is a typical big outlet in many parts of the world. Can you find the person to help you? No. You have all the boxes all jumbled up. What a mess. We have the washing machines confused with the TVs, and no one seems to understand anything. And the only person I can find is the person who wants me to sign the credit agreement. Okay. And how different it is when we have people who come alongside. It's not a shop assistant talking at me, but it's the shop assistant and me looking together in the same direction at the same product. It's saying it's great, isn't it? On a journey together, taking them through that wow to the relationship, to the finance, and to the sale. It's the same with the fridge. The fridge is not going to sell itself. It's great. It's fantastic. But what excited me yesterday was the assistant who showed me how it worked. And she helped me understand how my life would be changed by this kind of fridge and all its different features. So it's being available to the customer and knowing how to do it. You know, one of the worst mistakes, we see it made not in your business. We see it made by almost every single store that sells clothes. And you know what I mean? You're trying to get in through the door of the store. The store is here. As you walk through the door, the store is empty. And the assistant says, "Can I help you? Can I help you?" And what do I want to do? I want to run out of the store as fast as I can, right? Because I don't want to be helped then. What's much better is I walk through the store. The store is selling cushions and other products, and there's a shop assistant moving around. She says, "Good morning." She says, "If you want any help, I'll be around." And she appears to be busy. She's not threatening. And say, "Yes, that's a good product, isn't it?" My father bought one of those yesterday. He's so excited about it. And it becomes part of the conversation. I'll be back in a moment. And it's helping them on their journey of life, but without having a confrontation with them, which perhaps will push them out of the store too early. So it's fun when we get it right, when we become part of the friend. And then the most important friendship transition is between the sales assistant and me, who is then going to introduce me to another of her friends who's going to help me with the finance. So I'm not left, but it's Susan is introduced me to Jerry, and Jerry will take my money, and Susan will be back in 5 minutes to make sure it's all fine. So, okay, so that's the traditional. What about the online world? I just want to look at this because this is very, very rapidly changing. We have 58% of the world online in Mexico, 46% in Brazil, 67% in Argentina, and you heard earlier from Steve the extraordinary growth that we are seeing in this market in every area. And if you want to look at the future, just look to the past in other countries. And you know how it's affecting things? Just take TV watching. In London now, up to 1/3 of different groups of people have stopped watching traditional TV. They have the TV, but what they're watching is from the web. A huge change. Here is another change. $1.5 trillion was transacted online last year. $100 billion in Latin America alone. $6.2 billion was traded online in Mexico last year, mainly in companies like yours, traditional brick and mortar retailers who have their own websites. This year, e-commerce will grow in Mexico by 40%. Huge. In my country, 12% of all retail spending is now online. How many months will it be before it's 24%? Big question. And look at the amount being sold per user. In Latin America, the average online person is buying $578 a year online. This is the first hour of the first day of the e-commerce world for Latin America. We will see this massively increase. And what is interesting is how it's being paid for. Most e-commerce in Mexico here is being paid using PayPal. So a new electronic payment system designed for the web has taken over half the market share of payments in this country. Now, if we think about, say, 2014, Samsung may have an even bigger figure than this, maybe with your latest models, but we're going to see at least 6 million new mobile phone users here in Mexico. We're talking about the highest penetration of mobile anywhere in Latin America. We're talking about maybe 30 million smartphone users now. 60% of all 25 to 35-year-olds are now using smartphones. So how is this changing retail? Well, firstly, we need to know what they're using. Most of them are using Android, which is really important that we understand. And for those that have a mobile, 72% of every decision, all the decisions they make about what they buy are being influenced now by the mobile device. The main influence here in Brazil, for example, in Brazil, the main influence is family and friends. The second is the reviews on manufacturers' own websites. And the third biggest influence is the online consumer reviews of retailer websites like yours. Mobile influenced last year $29 billion of sales in the UK. And half of all online sales in my country are now made on the mobile device. So I would say this is the biggest shift in retailing that we have seen in the last 10 years. It's not just the move to online, but it's the move to mobile. Everything to do with mobile and the retail experience. And it's about Google, of course. It's about Facebook. It's about the recommendations of friends. And the next big thing is location marketing. It's understanding where the customer is. So you can watch the customer come into your store. You know that they're in the store. As they come close to the store, you start to send them an SMS saying, if you come into the store in the next 20 minutes, we will give you an extra special discount and a cup of coffee, or whatever it is. Or, welcome back. You're a much valued customer, and your favorite sales assistant, Terry, is looking forward to seeing you. It's about understanding what the customer is doing. Here is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has an app which allows you to walk around the streets. As you walk close to a Coca-Cola machine, you get an SMS saying that your favorite Coca-Cola drink is available 100 meters away. As you walk towards the machine, the can comes out, you pick up the can, and it charges the phone. You don't touch any buttons. We're talking about a world where location is absolutely critical to understanding the future. And mobile payments really matter. They are changing the world, and they will change what we do. Last year, 70% of all mobile payments took place in one part of the world, but it was not North America, it was not Europe, and it was not Asia. It wasn't Latin America, it was 70% of all mobile payments last year happened in Africa. And in Africa, 70% of them happened in Kenya, using one platform called M-Pesa. M-Pesa mobile platform is trading 1/3 of the entire country's economy every year. My big banking customers, I work with many of the largest banks in the world, and they are really worried about what is happening in Africa because they see the way it will change payments across the rest of the world. At the same time, we are seeing companies like Square provide little pieces of plastic to connect to any mobile device, and instantly, every mobile becomes a credit card reader at zero cost to the trader of the technology. So we're seeing a fusion between telecom and banking. And we're also seeing a fusion between offline and online. By the way, many of you are videoing this. I'm so pleased. I have good news for you. All the slides will be available to you. And also, I think the whole thing is being recorded, so we want to make this available. We're talking about fusion of online and offline worlds. It's very exciting what's happening here, and perhaps this is the most important impact of mobile on your future retail business. Let's look at Brazil. Who is here from Brazil? Okay, what an exciting country right now. Look at this. 50% of all the people in your stores are researching online before they walk into your store. Number one. Number two, 40% of all the people in your store are doing their research in your store, but then they're saying bye-bye. They're walking out of the store without buying, and they are then buying online. Many of them may be buying from you online, but they may also be buying from someone else online. And one of the biggest ways to stop them from doing that is to make sure that we capture them with an expert friend who understands what the conversation is about, explains the technology, helps them through that research process, and then guides them all the way through to make the decision before they go out of the store. Because if they go out, they're going to go online. If they go online, you may lose the sale. Now, this is really important, the next one. Almost 9 out of 10 of all the people in Brazil who have a smartphone are asking the same thing. When they are in your store, they want a virtual expert friend. They want to walk around, see the screen, take a photo of the barcode on the side, and they want to see on their smartphone all the latest information about the TV. They want to read your information about it as they walk around. They want to be on your site and in the store at the same time. 9 out of 10 are looking for this, and many of them are not finding it. And we're wanting them to stay in the store, even when they try and leave the store virtually. You see, what's happening is some of them are going into the store, and while they are in the store, they're going online to other sites, and then they are buying maybe even from another person, even when they're in your store. We want to hold them in the store. We guide them with a personal friend. We give them information on their phone, but we keep the relationship there. And so we're seeing also people buying online, but they want it delivered to your store. We're seeing them buying in the store, but delivered at home. So offline, online, forget it. They are the same thing in a mobile world. It's totally fused. And we're seeing another challenge. Here is a fantastic TV, but how do I get it home? So of course, I'm buying it in the store, but I want it delivered to me at home. The only trouble is, when? Because I'm not at home. I'm working or I'm lecturing in Mexico. So we have another trend. Look what's happening in the UK. The UK has the largest e-commerce market in the world in terms of the numbers of people who are making transactions per million and the percentage of retail online. Okay? So we learned something from the UK about the future of the region. Last year, companies delivered 1.3 billion packages to people at home, just in my country. Just 60 million people. 1.3 billion packages. That's absolutely huge. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of lorries driving, constantly delivering goods from the factory to the home. And it's growing 12% per year. But it's changing again. If we look what's happened just in the last year, we've seen 3,000 new parcel shops develop. These are places where I buy the TV, but it's delivered to the local petrol station. It's delivered to the newsagent. It's delivered to the place that sells tobacco. It's delivered to the local bookstore because I'm not at home, but they will keep it for me. In my country, because of technology, we are just about to close all the ticket offices in the whole of the underground metro system. Hundreds of them. And everyone is about to become a click and collect place for e-commerce. So they are changing. And we have thousands of tiny stores that used to sell tobacco, alcohol, and newspapers. And maybe they were about to close because they could not make a profit. Now they are starting to make big profit again out of e-commerce because they get a little bit of money every time they receive a big TV from Samsung delivered into the store of the newsagent so that it can be collected and taken home. So it's a very exciting new trend, and I think we will see it begin to take off in the larger cities, in places like Mexico City, in Rio, and in Sao Paulo, and places like that. And then a final element of this is speed. We understood that 5 seconds is a long time. And that's one of the reasons why people continue to come into your store, because it's quicker. They can go out with the phone and the TV, it's in their pocket. If they order it online, it will come tomorrow. They are not at home. They will get it the day after tomorrow, maybe next week. But there's now a new trend which is looking to fulfill an online order, a click and collect order, in less than 3 hours in major cities. How are they doing this? Well, the first thing they do is they stop using warehouses. They're doing it from your local store. So someone orders a product online, the order comes straight through to your local store because you are only 1 mile, 2 kilometers away from the person's home. And they say a minicab is on its way to you. A courier is on its way to collect the package. I'm buying the package now. Please hand it to the courier. The courier then delivers it, and they find me wherever I am. The courier will drive around. They have my location on my phone, and they will chase me around Mexico City until they find me, and they will give me the mobile phone, which I think is a very exciting new opportunity. It's a business opportunity, and it's all about the Internet of Things. It's about being able to manage your supply chain. It's about having these radio frequency identifications devices, these little things, on every single thing that we buy, whether it's from an OXXO store as a bottle of milk, or it could be one of the largest TVs or fridges here. Being able to track maybe 10 trillion different products on the surface of the earth in real time and know precisely where every one of them is, where every one of these devices is talking to other devices and transmitting its location, where it is and what it is. And now we come back to the customer again. Because what happens to all this data? All these mobile transactions, the fact that the telephone company can see where I travel. So I get in a taxi, the telephone company knows where I'm going, because they know where I usually go at 9 o'clock in the morning in a taxi. I go from A to B, so they know I will be in the taxi for the next 10 minutes. This is big data. Big data collects these associations between location, patterns of spending, the kind of websites that you like, the sort of TV programs that you watch, the searches that you did last night. Now, you might say, this is worrying because it takes my privacy away. But we're talking about big data shared with friends. We're talking about someone coming to your store and you say, would you mind if we are friends with you? You come regularly here. Would you like us to not market you? We don't like to market things to you. We don't want to shout at you about things. Would you like us to be your advisor on the journey of your life? So from time to time, we will make suggestions to you about things that we think you will be interested in. And if you tick the box, it allows you, working in partnership perhaps with Samsung and other agencies which are able to build these kinds of systems, it allows us to share the data and to build a very sensitive and careful picture of the individual so that we can become that advisor. Actually, you know, I did a dinner recently. In my audience were just 5 guests of Google. And those 5 people controlled 70% of the entire world's advertising and marketing budgets. They were the biggest agencies in the world. And what we discussed was the end of marketing, the end of traditional marketing. The old-fashioned marketing where we blast out the same TV ad to 25 million people. Yes, those things have power. But as you have seen, many people around the world are stopping watching that kind of TV anyway. They're now online. And what's being replaced by is, as I say, it's advice. It's big data helping us to customize the relationship that we have so that we are whispering little things which are really valuable to the customer, which offer them tremendous opportunities, which tell them amazing things about new products and services which they will really enjoy. And because we are getting it right so often, the customer loves to receive these messages, which is very, very different. And that's what big data can do. But it's very difficult for an individual retailer here to do those kinds of things. I mean, this year, for example, on mobile ads alone, Mexican companies will spend $173 million. But most of it will be simple broadcast. What we're talking about is being able to use a much smaller budget, but to reach people in a way that really matters, that connects with emotion and connects with the passions that they have. So, in conclusion, what is it about? This kinship word, which we talked about as this close partnership between the manufacturer, the retailer, the wholesaler, the distributor, and the people who are global experts on things like relationship management, on being able to provide deep customer insight, being able to predict the most important trends for your business and helping you prepare for them. What is it all about? It's about coming back to what we said at the beginning. It's about focusing on that amazing customer experience, creating that wow moment of extraordinary revelation as they see something that makes them really think about their own future. It's about using smart tools in marketing so we have a conversation rather than just hitting them with stuff. It's becoming an expert friend, taking really good care of them in the store in a sensitive way rather than face-to-face. It's walking around the store with them on their journey. It's merging the online and the offline retail to become one total amazing experience. It's thinking mobile in every possible dimension, including thinking about new ways in which we can make it easy for them to pay using mobile. And finally, when things go wrong, and of course, people get confused, they don't understand how to use a product after they've bought it. It's about offering world-class advice. It's about knowing who they are, about answering their phone quickly, about getting back to them when we say we will, and sorting them and winning them so that they become our loyal friends and they come back and back because they trust us completely. They know that we deliver amazing experience. We have fantastic quality, really exciting, world-class, unbeatable products, and they just feel excited themselves every time they think about coming into your store, whether it's through the virtual door online or whether it's through the physical door and to talk to a physical human being. And I wish you every success as you explore what these closer partnerships and kinship means for your business. Thank you very much. Thank you.